Welcome back, YouTubers, to my channel of an everyday life of an SB. As I've said before, basically right now I'm addressing to you guys about the mental health topics that I'm hoping just to collab up and hopefully tidy up in my playlist right now, so that hopefully it'll be ready for Mental Health Awareness Week, as well as some other things that I'm hoping to do for mental health awareness, which I might actually address later on, or even just do a protocol for you viewers, just to maybe share with me what you want to see on that day, or what's happening, or what maybe we can do together as a team sort of thing, so I can involve you guys in the piece. Excuse me. As you're fully aware, if you haven't been following right now, I'm doing all the different types of, obviously, the mental health topics that doesn't be addressed too much about, even though, as we know, the most clinically common one is the depression one that I see now and hear about now and again. Also, another one I'm addressing right now is also self-harm of the different types, as well as the eating disorders, basically, as well as suicide and the like, which hopefully will be basically enough for you guys to take hold and thing, because some of these information that I've got is not just based on my research and knowledge, but based on my experiences, even though keep on reminding you, I'm no clinical expert. I'm just doing it for sharing you the light of awareness, understanding, obviously being the voice of the ones that may not have been heard so far in the piece of what's going on. So in this part, obviously right now, even though I did address basically the second part, obviously the types of self-harm, which were including cutting, scratching, pinching, biting, drug and alcohol, over-exercise, sex, and the like. Even though it was, some of it was on maybe only touch wood briefly. But if you want more information of what I'm sharing with you all, I will be hopefully sharing these references and everything else that I was sharing through Youthline. And all further ado, this one's part 3 of the self-harm, and this one's about the self-harm misconceptions, which is going to be titled basically seeking attention behaviour or not, which obviously in this day and age we need to I'm not going to challenge you to basically think that while I'm taking you on this journey right now. As we know, there has been many conceptions, however, about young people in general self-harming themselves, be it whatever it may be, and just also just self-harm in general. As we know, basically, that self-harming can happen in young teens. It could be a copycat syndrome, it could be something that they don't mean to do, basically, in their own rights of coping mechanisms. Yeah, I believe strongly and wholeheartedly, though, that we shouldn't have to self-harm ourselves, as this will affect not just us, but others around us, at the time. Even though, again, yes, everything's by everyday choice, but every choice we make has a certain consequence along the way, regardless what it may be, If you are self-harming yourself, I plead with you, if you're doing this, please don't do it as you're basically with everything more in this world and you have a plan and a purpose in your life. I know it may be hard to believe this right now, but I'm sure that when you reach to a certain age or a certain stage in your life, that you will realise that, I am better than what I'm doing right now, what I'm feeling right now, be it if it's depression, self-harm, and the like. I strongly suggest, however, though, find someone who you can reach out to that you trust, be it a doctor, friend, family, neighbour, whoever, to get the proper help and support that you need. I'm not here, like I said, to judge or criticise you or point the finger and blame you, because I know that there is a reaching point for each of us, sort of thing, to reach out. Reach out to the people that you love, pretty much. Despite what your reasons are for doing this, you aren't okay, because obviously it's okay to ask for help and you need the treatment and therapies and support network that you need right now. Anyway, I would like to continue my journey right now, though, however, of this awareness and understanding of this issue and more, as I see this as an epidemic, as I said before, like suicide, depression, and eating disorders and more. Even though, yes, like I said, it is an epidemic, many people may laugh it off at me saying, Karen, you're just imagining it, it's not an epidemic, what the hell are you talking about? So that's fine, you guys made that choice to believe that misconception just there. Anyway, this topic and others alike to what I've shared so far obviously has been ignored at so many times, as I said, or not even talked about much. To share my knowledge and understanding, however, of these topics to you all, and hoping that you'll find comfort, peace and understanding to know that You're not alone. And obviously the peace and comforting and understanding of all this, that, you know, something can be done, as well as just understanding the knowledge and know-how of why it's happening, knowing the signs and warnings, or shall we say warning signs and symptoms of basically, you know, all this and more. I just want to say I'm not, as I said, judging you or criticising you for your reasons to why you're doing this, or basically how you're doing this. However, just want to say, yes, again, I'll address it loud and clear, that we all need help one day in our lives. And we shouldn't have to feel scared, judged, or more. As we all been through something similar, yet how we coped with it in different ways, obviously, or to the extremities. Yet we've, you know, lost people along the way through all this, so maybe we need to break that cycle somehow. Most people may have inside their heads of someone who's self-harming is doing it for, as I said before, attention seeking. But are they really? That's the real question we need to question. There's so many people misunderstood, or was basically misunderstands, or has that lacking of information about this, however, of the self-harming. And this video I've made is for you all that needs to listen and understand this topic better, and to get rid of this misconception of self-harming once and for all, as cutting or whatever it may be, that you had that misconception. As most same people say about self-harm is that cuts is people cutting as attention seekers, which really makes me sick to the stomach. And also another common saying here is people cutting are soul losers. People cutting don't have friends is another one, and so much more of these quotes I hear about every day. Have you heard of these statements yourself, however? Were you the one that used to say this about others that cuts or self-harm themselves in a way that is attention-seeking behaviour, or just attention seekers? Or even though you may be in denial of the fact, maybe you were the one that was obviously, you know, self-harming or cutting yourself, and then you thought, you know, you were higher and bigger than everyone else, even though you may have got the help and just don't want to help others around you, you know. You just think, you know, they're the problem, not you. But, you know, it's a domino effect there. One person that does self-harm by cutting may ask themselves, or even doubt about themselves, to self-harming, thinking if they are selfish to self-harm. Selfish enough to show their scars, selfish to just, again, gain attention from others as they are trying to escape their reality, their pain, just to distract themselves. Some harming, however, in whatever way, form or reason, isn't okay. You feel to talk others through cutting, and that you feel that you're being ignored, laughed at, etc. Some days I'll read about mental health and watch some videos to inspire myself, as well as just listening to stories of others, you know, how they survive through all this, as well as maybe, like I'm sharing with you, some of my stories, as well as tips and advice along the way. To shed a little light that you're not alone, however, so that I can reach out to you all one way or another. There are, however, questions that I question myself, and maybe you guys will feel the same way, to do with self-harming, and their answers are there from others who have shared their stories. Also, people that cut themselves or self-harm themselves gives them bad stereotypes. Self-harming for attention is no reason to self-harm at all, however. The ones that quote these statements to others that are self-harming, I've got words to say to you. Stop and think about what you're actually saying. Stop preaching these statements, however, about self-harm if you don't know or have the right information, or just don't know what that other person is going through, even if they are trying to reach out for help one way or another, when they know they are doing damage more than good. Stop preaching some of these statements of self-harm if you don't know the reasons or truth behind it all. There are no medical study states this, however, people that are self-harming for attention aren't, in fact, really not real cutters. They are fake. There's nothing in the DSM jurisdiction manual, as I shared, wanting attention. It's not a valid reason or excuse to cut yourself. What do I believe? That's a good question that you guys probably be asking right now. I believe that any of you are self-harming, regardless of your personal circumstances or reasons behind it all. You still need medical and professional help and care. I'm saying this in a loving way as much as possible because this is a strong topic I believe that needs to be addressed like every other topic I've addressed so far. You need the same amount of help as anyone else who's self-harming. Just because that you're doing this for attention doesn't mean that you won't or will get the attention that you deserve. Maybe it's the wrong sort of attention that you were craving for in the first place. Let's be real and true about this, however, and face it again. You still need help. People do love and care for you, yet it's up to you to get the help for yourself and your choice only. And there will be people along the way that will support you and guide you through this process. You still need to tell somebody about this and to seek treatment to recover from this immediately. From what I can tell you, or from my experience, yes, some people who self-harmed the first time would be doing it for attention, just like I did with some resources I could get my hands on. I was self-harming myself just to get rid of what I thought at the time of the pain and thoughts of how and what I felt about myself, and while I was in low self-esteem mode, and my low self-confidence, as well as basically my low self-esteem based on after being abused pretty much in the past with certain guys. That's why I'm finding it sometimes to this day, even though I do make guy friends pretty much easier sometimes with some and harder for others of the guys, pretty much. No offense to the girls, because obviously, you know, but then again, I am trying to actually now try to relate to both sides of both sexes, even though, you know, I've had it hard right now, even though I'm not saying that for pity or anything. I'm just sharing my story, as I said before, sort of thing. Bells ringing. Anyway, how I do this was self-destroying myself with rage and kick, scream, pinch, bite myself to try and numb the pain, to be sure that anyone in my circle knew that something didn't feel right, that something was wrong. Besides whatever resources I grabbed at the time to try and ease that burden and pain of the self-harming, be it when I was down and out, when I was so clinically diagnosed, pretty much, I did try to, you know, end my life a few times with certain resources that I could grab my hands on, be it pills, be it kitchen knives, whatever. Anyway, these people who do it for attention need more help than the ones who got the help. They need it straight away. People who self-harms and doing it for attention aren't saying they need help or don't need it, when in fact that is obviously denial kicking in. This is quite the opposite. Don't assume or judge people who are self-harming, however, for you don't even know what they're going through, as they have reasons to why they do self-harm, i.e. being abused, bullied, violence in the home, violence in their relationship, breakups and more that can lead to this path of distraction of self-harming and what have you. They are hurting so much in the inside, yet they want to project their feelings, emotions from inside out, despite it may be the right positive way for them, but it's a cry for help. It's a cry to you all as they reach out, or, excuse me, to you all as you see it and feel it. There are ones needing help and support with love, guidance, understanding. However, be there for them. However, I will address to you all. Let them talk to you of how they are feeling and what they're feeling. Never make fun of them, torture them, tear them down, etc. Be their guiding light. Be positive with them. You know, share them with them your story or something, what have you. You know, seek out after that. Seek out professional help for that person. Imagine them if they're your family member, your partner, your loved one, or whoever that you feel real close to. As I said before, love everybody if you can. They found you for a reason to reach out and talk to you. That takes obviously a lot of guts and courage and faith for them to actually put their trust on you to reach out to talk to. Reach out to these people. After all, they are humans too. They make mistakes. They obviously do everything in their power. Ask them a question like, instead of, you know, are you okay? Well, not, are you okay, but bear with me, sorry, I'm trying to remember the actual right statements here. Hi, are you okay? Or, do you want to talk about it? Is another one, if they say no, they're not okay. But don't always force their issue if they're not ready to talk about what they're going through. If you reach out to these people or let them talk to you about their problems, fact, 9 times out of 10, they got something to say. They just want someone to talk to, as we need to put a stop to this and other topics I have shared with you all in the past and now, before it gets worse or too late that, you know, they're not around. To end this though, to the ones who are self-harming, this is a word of advice for you all. Stop, think, before you do the self-harming. Think before you act. Think before you actually do this. As you know, you need help. Support. You need a support system of people who you can trust. So seek out the ones you can trust. You are loved. You are beautiful. You are smart. You are funny. You are intelligent. There's one of you and only one that can make a difference in this life. You are obviously, as I said, a reason here. You're not a mistake, obviously, if you were taught this so many times before that you think that you're a mistake or whatever that caused you to self-harm in the first place. You need to break free from these negative thoughts. As I said, these I statements could come in handy when you are facing this dark world of self-harming or whatever it may be. But first and foremost, seek help. Anyway, a challenge again to the ones who use to self-harm would be good if anyone who has been watching my channel or videos of these or more, comment below basically your stories or even some positive quotes so that we can do a positive chain here that others can hopefully be able to feel loved. Send love, hope and peace to others recovering. This is good for you. Great to hear that you are in that recovery stage right now of self-harming or whatever it may be that you were going through in the first place. As you know, now that you wanted help and wanted to stop, you're the living proof pretty much of this journey of yours. Well, that ends basically part 3 of the misconception of attention-seeking behaviour of self-harm. Please give me the like for thumbs up for support. Also, as I said before, comment below or even just follow me on Twitter and Facebook on SB Answers All. I'm hoping to actually share my story videos onto Facebook of SB Answers All for the ones that may not have any YouTube channel or may do have one, but you know, haven't got any videos, even though I challenge, as I said before, the ones that are maybe going through this story of, you know, self-harm or whatever they may be going through, maybe to reach out, because hopefully it's never too late just to ask for help. When I said, you know, we need to find the right support network. If you haven't done so already, feel free to subscribe my channel. As I said before, I'm hoping to upload more than twice a week if I can, if my schedule will allow me. If not, bear with me guys, I'm sorry. I know that some of you may find that some of these videos right now is really, you know, intense but also useful tool. But also, as I keep saying, share these videos around to family and friends as well as resource tool and that, so that we know the warning signs and whatnot. Also, basically, you know, just have a good day, love one another, and actually, you know, reach out to the ones that need it, you know, be kind to one another, and I'll see you all soon.